If you are fans of Narimon or Alex Day, you might have seen his Alex Reads Twilight section thing. So the Hunger Games film is coming out. Hunger Games is by Suzanne Collins, and I've already read the books, but I've decided to do uh, Michelle Reads the Hunger Games thing. So here goes. I shall read you the back first. Winning will make you famous. Losing means certain death. In a dark vision of the near future, a terrifying reality TV show is taking place. 12 boys and 12 girls are forced to appear in a live event called the Hunger Games. There's only one rule: kill or be killed. When 16-year-old Katniss Everdeen steps forward to take her sister's place in the game, she sees it as a death sentence. But Katniss has been close to death before. For her, survival is second nature. Stephen King says, constant suspense, I couldn't stop reading. And Stephanie Meyer, the writer of Twilight, haven't, if you've missed the entire Twilight phenomenon, says the story kept me up for several nights in a row because even after I was finished, I just lay in bed wide awake thinking about it. The Hunger Games is amazing. Okay, so here's what the first chapter is about. She starts off and she wakes up, and then she basically describes all the people in her family. She wakes up and usually she shares a bed with her little sister Prim. So she like freaks out that her little sister's not in bed, and then she's like, oh, it's the day of the weeping, so of course she's not. So then she says that her little sister's in bed with her mum, and then she talks about her little sister's pet cat for ages. Buttercup's name is, supposedly quite ugly and hates Katniss, who's Katniss is the main person. And so she just talks about how ugly it is, how she tried to drown it, and that's why the cat hates her. And then she gets up, collects all her stuff, and then there's this big list of on the table under a wooden bowl to protect it from hungry rats and cats alike sits a perfect little goat's cheese. If Why would you have to write all that for it's a bit of cheese? You would expect it to be something like really special and expensive with that, like a baby. I don't know why you would put a baby under a bowl, but just spit over the top for a bit of cheese. Yeah, so her little sister gave her the bit of cheese for the reaping. And then she talks about her district for a fair bit. She lives in District 12. There's lots of different districts. District 12 is the last of them. And she lives specifically in the seam part of District 12, which is where all the coal miners and poor people live, basically. So she goes to school, so she doesn't work or that. But she goes out hunting, even though they're not allowed outside the district. There's some holes in this fence, which is meant to be electrified, if that's a word, all the time, but it's only electrified for like a couple of hours each day. So they go hunting, and she says there's lots of different holes in the fence, like closer to her house, but she always goes through one specific one, which is a fair bit away from her house, and I just don't get why she does that. She just seems pretty picky, really. So she goes and gets her stuff, which is bow and arrow, because she's pretty good with a bow and arrow, from under this log. And then she meets up with her mate, Gale, and Gale's a bloke, just to state. And they go hunting together, usually. So she meets up with him, and he's already caught like a squirrel and stuff. And then they just sit and they eat stuff, eat some bread and goat's cheese from before, and some berries. They got some strawberries while they were out hunting. So Gale takes a piss out of the Capitol, which is the like posh people. They don't live in the districts. They've got like the capital section, and uh, the the capital sends someone to each of the districts on the days of the reaping to like pick out the names and stuff. So the person who does it for District 12 is Effie Trinket. And Gail's just making fun of her accent really because he's got quite posh accents. And he says, and may the odds, and then he tosses a very high, an arc towards Katniss, be ever in your favour. Because they say that all the time with stuff related to Hunger Games, so keep an ear out for that. Or if you are reading it yourself, then just read it, maybe. And so they decide to go sell their stuff at the Hob, which is like a black market bit of food black market. So they go to sell their stuff, meet Greasy Say, who gives them some soup, and then she says, she's talking about like dog meat that Katniss and Gale give her, and then she says, once it's in the soup, I'll call it beef, because that's not fraudulent in the slightest. So they finish their business at the market, and then they go to the mayor's house, because it's quite like strawberries, supposedly, so they go to sell them some strawberries. And Katniss talks about kind of being friends with the mayor's daughter, and then talks about how she's dressed all fancily, and Gale says pretty dress, but it's quite obvious he means it sarcastically. So yeah, he doesn't seem to like her very much because she's posh and has money and he doesn't. Which is pretty harsh because like Katniss is poor and still likes her even though she's got money. And then she has a rant at Gale for disliking her just because she's got money stuff. So then they decide to go home and meet up later at the like square bit for the reaping. So then Katniss goes home, sees her parents, eats some more food. Not parents, parent. She only has a mom. Then she talks about her little sister gets dressed up because she meant to get dressed up for the reaping. So her this little sister's in this like dress which is way too big for her. But she like tucks it in so it's like a shirt thing. Oh no, it's not a dress. It's a blouse. Blouse that's too big for her, so it is just a shirt. And then tucks it in, but the back keeps coming out, so she looks like she's got a duck tail. So then Katniss makes some quacking noises, because it's what every regular teenage girl does. So then they go off to the square to attend the reaping, because it's mandatory, and if you don't go, then they'll come to your house and they will put you in jail. Unless you're dying. If you're dying, it's okay. You can avoid it if you're going to die. So then they all get put in different roped off areas by their age. And the older you get, the more names you get put in these ball things, which is where they get the boy and the girl from. But you can also, if you're poor and you need food, you can put your name in an extra time to get some more seeds and oil, rice and stuff, I'm guessing as well. I think it was grain actually. She said grains and oil, but I'm not too sure. So, Gale's older than Katniss, so he's got his name in more because he also gets the grains and oil and stuff. Katniss gets grains and oil a lot, but she wouldn't let her little sister Prim do it, and this is her first year being able to go in the reapings. So she's only got her name in once, and then it makes a big deal about the fact that her sister's only got her name in once. And then it talks about how the victors of the games from their district, which there's only one of, which is Haymitch. She's a like serious drunkard, alcoholic guy. They get to sit on the stage, but he's totally hammered, so he kind of falls off and stuff. So Effie Trinket starts the whole reaping thing of pulling the names out of the hat. But the Hunger Games is all about all the districts tried to go against the capital and then lost. So now they're just killing off their children. So Katniss goes on about all the, well, Katniss has to listen to all the rules of the Hunger Games, which really there's only one, which is just kill everyone and you can go home. So everyone has to kill, well, everyone has to try and kill everyone else. So then every trinket starts the name pulling out of stuff. And she says ladies first because she's nice like that, I guess. And then she reaches in, digs her hand deep into the ball, and pulls out a slip of paper. The crowd draws in a collective breath, and then you can hear a pin drop. And then you can hear a pin drop. Okay, I don't think someone actually dropped a pin to see. Like, that's just stupid. And I'm feeling nauseous and so desperately hoping that it's not me. That it's not me. That it's not me. Brilliant writing. Every trinket crosses back to the podium, smooths the slip of paper, and reads out the name in a clear voice. And it's not me. It's Primrose Everdeen. How unfortunate is that? I mean, one name. That's just pure ridiculous. I never realised how stupid that book was the first time I read it. And that's only the first chapter. It's only going to get worse. I mean, most of that I just skipped out because it was talking about eating cheese. Well, hope you enjoyed the ranting. See ya.